Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing the last shelf on the prettiest covers in my bookshelf collection series. After this I will go back and watch all of the videos I've made to determine which 5, theoretically, I think are the absolute prettiest amongst all of my books. So this one contains this shelf. Ooh. Okay. I'm cheating a little bit on this video because there are 6, but we're just gonna ignore that. Anyway, this has the piles of books over here that you can't really see, and then the books behind me, and then this small white shelf. Obviously it's slightly difficult to lie down to film books on the floor, hence the sitting in front of a corner, but that's not the point. Let's get into the 6 prettiest books here. The first one is one of my absolute favorites, and that is The Evil Queen by Gina Showalter. I love this book. Total cover buy. Absolutely cover buy. Because do you see the shiny? And the mirror, and the shattered mirror, and the blue, and the purple, and the black, and how they all just go so well together, and they are so pretty. And then the back has an apple in the middle, because, yes, I'm very excited about this book. I made my sister read it, and she loved it. This is a retelling of the Evil Queen from Snow White's origin story, where there is our world and the fairy tale world, and they connect sometimes. Turns out our main character is destined to be the evil queen in Snow White, and she decides that there is no way, come hell or high water, she's gonna be the evil queen, so off she sets to change her destiny. And the cover absolutely matches the inside. It is amazing. Next we have The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. This one's pretty because it has a gold dragon. And I mean, who doesn't love a gold dragon, honestly? The detail in the gold around it, the flowers and just all of that, and the red eyes and the dragon up top, they're stunning. And there's no way I can make a list without this book. Although, the next list could be interesting. I don't actually know what this one's about, so we're gonna find out. Let's see. Oh yeah. So our main character, Theodora, ends up in Istanbul she's left alone in Istanbul because her father is some famous treasure hunter, and so he just leaves her alone because he's busy. And then she has to go on a journey with her father's protege to find her father because he apparently has gone missing, and they come across the ring of Vlad the Impaler, aka potentially the inspiration for Dracula. Which would explain why it sounded really good, because I love Dracula, and so a sort of that just sounds great. Anyway, next we have The Shadow Princess by Inu Sundaresan. This is either the second or the third book, I think the second, in her trilogy that follows the daughters of the Emperor Jahangir, sorry for pronunciation, and Roshanara, and they're conspiring and scheming because they're princesses and they have to stay in the harem and they're not really allowed to do anything else. I find this time period in India fascinating. I find most of India fascinating. Beside the point. And this one is pretty because, as I said in my last video, or the video coming out, I'm not sure in which order they're going to be posted, anything with the Taj Mahal is beautiful. So I love the detail up here. All of her jewelry is just stunning. And it's pretty and shiny and gold. And then you go down to the Taj Mahal down here and just combine both of them, and I think it is an amazing, amazing book cover. Also, the colors are so vibrant. So there's that. I also really love the reflections here, and the fact that there's just a little sun there, because India is very, very hot unless you're being flooded by the monsoons. Clearly I need to work on my understanding of weather too, because I realize that India doesn't have just burning hot and monsoons, but I haven't been, it's on my list. Next we have The Never Tilting World by Rin Chupeco, which is a story about 2 sisters, and in this world there's a legend, or I guess history, but history always gets legendized, whatever. And at some point these 2 sisters fought and they turned the world into a very, very cold top and a very, very hot bottom. And there's this very thin line, there's a lot of varies, in between where humans can live. and the main characters in this have to fix it. So this cover is pretty because it's so dramatic. I also think it does a really good job evoking the icy north and the fiery south. Why we always associate the north with cold and the south with hot, I'm not really sure, but we do. Anyway, I think this one is really pretty. I think it's very cool. Predominantly because I also love the black spikes and how it's not just a plain blue north. There's actually really detail in the circles, in the sphere, and around it as well. For such a simple looking cover, it's intricate and I adore it. Next we have Crier's War by Nina Varela, which is here because it is intricate and beautiful and shiny. Apparently we always have to have a shiny one. Yeah, very shiny. This one is, oh yeah, there's a human servant who rises in the ranks of the sovereign and dreams of killing the sovereign's daughter who killed the human's family. In this world, humans are lowly peasants and the higher-ups are robots, basically. I've heard both good and bad things about this book, but I'm very curious to read it because it sounds pretty good. Anyway, this cover is beautiful because of the intricacy and the shiny. You know in art class when they had you like carve designs into metal and see how intricate you could make them or that? This reminds me of that, and I thought that was really fun. I wasn't any good at it, but I thought it was fun. So I love, it is textured, you can feel it. It's like they took a piece of very thinly carved metal and stuck it on here. I adore the castle looking design. Well, at least there's a castle looking design on the back. Yep, definitely one on the front. And the girls down here, it looks like there is an entire story to be told on the cover alone, let alone the 500 pages within. And last but certainly not least is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nan. This is the second in the Girls of Paper and Fire series. In the first one we follow a human girl with gold eyes, and so because of her eyes she's taken into the Demon King's harem. Trigger warning for sexual assault. It's not great. But she is determined to live her own life and not let this Demon King destroy her, which is basically what he does to most of his girls. And they're called paper girls because they are human and the most fragile caste in a world where demons are the highest, half demons are next, and then humans are the least. So we follow this after the events of the first one, obviously, and there is a female-female romance in here, hence the two people on the cover. This one mostly is just colors for me. I really love when there are very subtle shades of colors, particularly blues and purples. I think greens and reds and the rest of the colors are fun to play with hues, but blues and purples just lend themselves to nuance. I also love the girl on the left's, my left anyway, eyes. I think they're very interesting because they don't quite look gold or how I had pictured them, but they're stunning. Just the way the hair flows as well is evocative of movement and incredibly well done. On the back, not that you can see it particularly well, there's an outline of a castle that I think is really cool, and all of the lightning on this shines when the light hits it, and that's just awesome. Those are the 6 books, 6 prettiest books rather, that are sitting on my floor. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!